First tonight, everyone but the boss seems to be fed up with what is happening at the State Child Welfare Office.
Neither the governor or the person he appointed to run the Department of Children and Family Services are commenting on calls for the secretary to resign. Relentless reporting by WBRZ has shown you day after day about a problem at DCFS. 2 arrests of adults tied to troubling cases about what happened to the kids in their care. The state took no action to help a child who overdosed 3 times and died. The child's mother is in jail tonight, and in a separate case, children allegedly raped by their foster parent. He is also locked up. Now this from the investigative unit and Chris Nakamoto.
Sylvia Michaels, State Representative Jason Hughes says DCFS is a mess, and the state agency has been on his radar since the spring. Tonight, he believes the time for excuses is up and a change in leadership there is required. So far, the governor's office hasn't responded.
DCFS is in complete dysfunction.
Powerful words from a New Orleans lawmaker demanding that DCF Secretary Marquita Walters step down, along with 2 of her underlings.
I am convinced at this time we need a complete overhaul in leadership at the top regarding the Secretary Walters, Assistant Secretary Hognett, who serves as Assistant Secretary of Child Welfare, and the Assistant Secretary of Family Support, Ms. Howard. I am calling for their immediate resignation or replacement.
The tough talk comes amid a week of reports from the WBRZ investigative unit about a toddler's overdose death in Baton Rouge. It was his 3rd time overdosing, and despite the state being notified 3 separate times, it failed to intervene by removing the child from the home. Then DCFS came under even more intense scrutiny days later when a foster parent, Michael Haddon, was arrested, accused of raping foster kids in his dilapidated house for years. One of the children's grandmothers, 80-year-old Sylvia Smith, told us this week she tried to get custody but was told she was ineligible.
They would just say, "You're too old." I'm not too old. I can climb them trees out there.
Smith says she filed at least 4 complaints with the state about the conditions at the foster home, but nothing was done.
They're wrong. I mean, they are wrong. What are they thinking? I mean, I am ready to just about blow a gasket because, look, don't tell me these people didn't know that was going on.
Despite there being a dead child and other children who were allegedly raped and molested by a foster parent, the Department of Children and Family Services has refused to answer questions about how many site visits the state agency made at either home, raising questions about whether any site visits were made at all.
Lack of transparency is absolutely egregious, and when the media asks questions, it's important that answers be rendered, because at the end of the day, the media is reporting to the public. This is a state agency, and the public is entitled to know what's going on.
Hughes is not the only lawmaker grilling DCFS. State Senator Regina Barrow going so far as to call their actions illegal.
That within itself is really almost criminal. I mean, within itself, because that was complete negligence. That was negligence. And that just should have never happened.
At the Capitol, they also demanded answers from the leaders and were not satisfied with what they heard.
It's horrific that we would miss it once. It's inexcusable, and I know that you guys weren't assigned any case that we may or may not be talking about, that we miss it again. It's almost criminal for whoever has that case.
Now, Hughes says if nothing happens, he wants to see the governor step in.
I do think the governor needs to get involved and demand a change in leadership at DCFS. The question we have to ask ourselves is, how many more lives do we have to lose? How many more children have to be heinously raped?
We asked DCFS a number of questions today. A spokeswoman said specifics pertaining to these cases are under investigation. But she did say site visits are required at least once a year after a foster parent is certified. We also asked the governor's office for a statement. They said he's out of town and he'll deal with this when he gets back.